What is up, YouTube? Big Papa Jake back with another episode of It Figures, where I talk figures. And today I'm going to open up my final opening of the Monday Night Wars, WWE versus WCW, Greatest Hits Series 2, Ken Shamrock with the Gorilla Monsoon Build-A-Figure in it. And my next video will be ranking the wave and go ahead and building Gorilla Monsoon, the figure, and we'll rank them all together. So yeah, let's take a look at Ken Shamrock. I'm going to tell you what I've said in almost every video I open. During the Monday Night Wars, I was Team WCW all the way. I didn't really watch Ken Shamrock live and in color when he was on. I checked in. I taped WWF Raw and, you know, kind of checked in on it, followed it on commercials and whatnot. But I never really saw Ken Shamrock in a full match until I went back and started watching the Attitude Era in the, you know, the pay-per-views, premium live events now, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, so I am going to unbox this, talk a little bit about my exposure to Ken Shamrock, which isn't much, but this figure looks good out of the box. Let's take a look. Obviously, Monday Night War packaging. We got Elite, WWE, of course. You got the metal grating in the fire, like I always say, reminds me of the Nitro opening. Big window with Ken Shamrock there. Mean mug in there for the camera. Monday Night War, Greatest Hits, WCW versus WWE, or other way around. And there's the Gorilla, looking very presidential. Again, this was his presidential era, not his announcer era of the WWE, when he started to get older and obviously ill. So there's Ken Shamrock with the WWE logo. We all know what side of the war he was on. Greatest Hits Elite. Ken Shamrock, certified authentic, so you don't got to worry about getting ripped off. And then we've got the back, the live glamour shot, full gorilla, which comes with, this is his torso. And then the rest of the line, which was DDP, Ken Shamrock, Bret Hart, and the Ringmaster. I've opened all three of those. And now it's Ken's turn. Let's read what they say about Ken Shamrock back here. This is Ken Shamrock from Sacramento, California. Height, 6'1", which is amazing. I mean, he seems short to me. And I'm sure there are a lot of tall guys in the Attitude Era, but 6'1", but he looked smaller than that height-wise. Obviously, his build was bigger. Weight, 243. Finisher, the ankle lock. Raw, June 30th, 1997. The world's most dangerous man proves to be as much a master of the squared circle as the octagon by defeating Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Career highlights: Intercontinental Champion and WWE Tag Team Champion. I always heard people like JR say that Ken Shamrock could have definitely went all the way to the top. Not sure if he says it's just a timing thing, if it was, you know, getting his own way type of thing. But yeah, I from what I've seen of him in going back and watching, it looks like Ken Shamrock had the skills to be a WWF champion at the time. Again, not sure why that didn't happen. Of course, there was such good talent there. I mean, you could name 1,000,001 people on that roster that could and should have been heavyweight champion. From, gosh, you know, Owen Hart should have had a run. I think, you know, Ron Simmons could have had a run before the whole, maybe even a heel Nation of Domination championship title run. Could have been so many things that could have been done that way. Here you go. Here's the fireball explosion there, again with the metal grates. Wish I could think of something to do with these. It seems like a waste, but we'll get rid of the box here. There's Mr. Shamrock, looking good in his red robe, red boots. And I've heard some criticism about the boots. We're going to have to look at those. I don't understand what the criticism is, but again, not really big on his time frame. Ooh, and no clips in here. I think we can just push them out of here. Let's take a look. Might be right here. Yep. We can just get them out, and we'll pop out the hands. I've been having such trouble with the hands on this series. I don't know what it is. And Gorilla is clipped in here, so let's get him out. Gorilla-like torso. There you go. And we'll be putting that on him. The beautiful purple suit there. And yeah, when I get this all put together, I'll bring down, I'm looking over top here at my Gorilla Monsoon Elite figure, and we'll kind of compare the two. But yeah, let's take a look at Ken Shamrock. So right out of the package, I love this figure, the looks of it. And if you take a look here, it's in the red robe. And I understand this is a remake, kind of I don't know if it was a Jakks figure or an early Mattel Elite, but you see that robe? It's got Shamrock on the back. I will say, not 100% saying that's a great head scan, but I think it's okay. You hand me this, I would think it's either Ken Shamrock or maybe a very poorly made Paul Roma. But yeah, I think it's really good. I'm half tempted not to take off the robe because I can never get these back on, but I'm going to attempt. And I'll tell you, I had a great idea, and I hope they use it. But the Great Muta came with a Velcro robe, but with the knot already in it. And that would be a great idea for these figures, just to keep the knot, and you could open up the robe without having to untie it and tie it back up. But let's take a look. Not a whole lot of accessories, obviously. Could have came with an Intercontinental Championship belt. I wouldn't have been mad about that. The Attitude Era oval Intercontinental belt. But you got two gripping hands here, and of course you've got the striking hands, the punching hands here right out of the package. And again, you know, very decent figure. Let's take the robe off and at least open her up and see what we've got. We've got the red trunks. And yeah, pretty nice looking figure. Definitely, you know, got the powerful physique. I don't know what the boot issue was. I don't really know what his boots looked like. If there's guards over it or something like that, I would assume. But yeah, pretty plain Jane red boots. Black, of course, fighting gloves. You got the black wrist tape. But no, I actually dig this figure. Got Shamrock on the tights. On the front of the tights there. Nothing on the back. Red knee pads. Ankles look pretty good. Yeah, and again, I don't go over the articulation. I mean, the articulation's pretty complete on this figure. Got knee pads on, so I'm not even going to test. You test the legs. Oh, legs are pretty good. I know we get a lot of that Vietnamese issue where they don't bend. I've heard other reviewers talk about that too, that since they went to the factory in Vietnam, the articulation of the legs staying up has been pretty hard. But yeah, Ken Shamrock again. One of those, again, some interesting feuds. My memories of Ken Shamrock are really, I believe, from his WrestleMania appearances, at least the ones I remember. Obviously, he was the referee in the Austin match, hence wearing this, where Austin won the belt, I believe. No, I think I take that back. He was the referee in the WrestleMania 13 Austin Brett match, where Austin lost, passed out. The one that just got inducted, the match that got inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. So Shamrock was the referee in that. I'm sorry, Mike Tyson was the special referee in Austin's title win. How could I forget that? But I remember that appearance. And then I remember his Lion's Den match against Owen Hart, which I had never seen before when I went back and watched that. It was really, really cool to me. And he ended up winning that. So, yeah, really, that's all I know about Ken Shamrock. Didn't follow him in, excuse me, boy, up past my bedtime, apparently. Didn't follow him in MMA, but I certainly knew of him. And, of course, it was a big deal when he joined WWF. But yeah, I wasn't watching it at the time, and he didn't even strike a chord with me. It wasn't news in my world that he was on WWF TV. But yeah, you know, again, they had a stretch of the Dan Severns and a couple other ones. Tank Abbott was an MMA fighter that went over to WCW that made a splash. Ken Shamrock, but I think Ken had the biggest upside, and again, I think he could have worn the belt for at least a little while. Boy, I'm sorry, people. I wish I knew how to edit better. I'd edit those right out. I'm boring even myself, apparently. No, but yeah, this robe is awesome. This figure's really great. Head scan, better than average. Again, you hand me this, I would probably guess Ken Shamrock. And yeah, pretty good. Belongs in the Monday Night War figures, I believe. I've had criticisms of some of the figures that don't belong in here, but this one really does. And even like I said, the Ringmaster in this series probably doesn't belong in the Monday Night War era in my mind, but here it is. So, all right, let me know what you think about Mr. Ken Shamrock. What do you think about this figure? I really dig it for a guy that I didn't. I'll be honest. If this figure were in any other wave, I wouldn't buy a Ken Shamrock figure. I wouldn't need him in my collection. So Monday Night Wars, you got me with the Gorilla Monsoon buy there. So, but now I have Ken Shamrock in my collection, and I'm very happy I did. It's really not a disappointing figure at all. Again, maybe more accessories, but I think I have a feeling like these Monday Night War ones are pretty light on accessories because of the Build-A-Figures. They know they're going to get the sales. They're not dumb. They certainly make their money off of me. Let me tell you that. So, but yeah, drop me a comment below. My subscribers keep going up slowly but surely. Spread the word, please. I'm at 40 subscribers. I'd really love to get to 50 within another month or so I can start doing live feeds and live videos, and maybe even have some guests on and talk about the thing I love to do, which is talking about wrestling. So let me know what you think of Mr. Ken Shamrock. Like and subscribe, share it, get the word out. Let me know if you guys have found any neat figures right now. I'm kind of out of the hunt business because there's not a whole lot I'm looking for, and it's a good thing because I went figure hunting a little bit tonight, and I there were 2 elites at my local Walmart, and the 2 elites were both Tommaso Ciampa. So not exciting to me for sure. They still had a little bit of the NWO 4-pack or 3-pack on the shelf, and they had a ton of Kurt Angle superstar figures. So I guess that's a peg warmer now. But yeah, let me know what you think, and like and subscribe. Appreciate you listening. Good hunting, and as always, deuces.